Hello, everybody. You're on the mic. And on today's episode, we're going to be covering the actors who have portrayed the voices of the Martian Manhunter in animation. This, of course, will conclude our portion of the Justice League, the original members of the Justice League, as I've done, of course, previous episodes on Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, and Aquaman. So Martian Manhunter will conclude the Justice League portion. So, to give you an idea of what at least the next few videos are going to be like, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a Toonami update as I have come across some information. As of this last Saturday, they extended it back to 3.5 hours. I'll go into more detail on that tomorrow. And then after that, I'll be doing some Marvel Comics characters. So on Thursday, I'll probably be doing the voices of Spider Man. Followed on Friday, the voices of Captain America. And I'll be doing a few Marvel comic characters, covering actors who voice their characters in some of the classic cartoons. So stay tuned for that, folks. Now, with no further ado, let's get started here with the Martian Manhunter. Now, albeit the Martian Manhunter, also known as John Jones, his Martian spelling so goes J apostrophe ONN, and then his last name J apostrophe ONZZ. Um, it's of course said John Jones. John Jones. How we normally think of it. Now, albeit he was a part of the original Justice League, he actually did not make his first animated appearance until basically the late 90s, early 2000s, part of the DCAU. Now, of course, since I watched cartoons more than read the comics, I was unaware of John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, until, of course, he premiered on Justice League. But it wasn't until his appearances in the DCAU, in which in which in which he became known. So he first appeared, of course, in the Justice League cartoons in the mid 2000s, where he was voiced by Carl Lumley, who, of course, and they said here that Carl Lumley did his voice in a South African accent. In this continuity, of course, he was almost always referred to as John Jones. Um, so, and among his appearances in the DCAU included he of course made an appearance along with some other league members in the Static Shock episode, A League of Their Own, in which the Justice members of the Justice League had guest starred on Static Shock. He, of course, was one of the main characters throughout. Well, he was basically one of the main characters in the first season one of Justice League, in which as being one of the 7 founding members. But as I said here in the sequel series, Justice League Unlimited, um, he wasn't. He was still a part of the team, was still a main member, but wasn't as focused as much. He was pretty much the guy who um, he basically almost exclusively remained on the Watchtower, meaning manning it and serving as a mission coordinator, eventually choosing to depart and explore Earth near the beginning of the third season. As many people probably remember, this, as I said here, it was I can't remember the exact title of the episode, but it was the episode where they uncovered Prince John's body, John the Viking Prince. And, this is the episode where Wonder Woman had tried to get John to become more socially active because, he's stuck up on Earth so much of the time, you know. And we did see in a previous episode on Justice League where he did have some issues when he was confronted with all of the negative emotions of humans because of his telepathy. So, the fact that he's the last of his race did create some problems there for him. Of course, he then of course reunites with the League in the series finale Destroyer. Um, and the one time that he's actually referred to as the Martian Manhunter is by Clock King in the episode Task Force X. But otherwise, he's basically referred to as John Jones. And throughout the Justice League and Static Shock episodes, he is voiced by Carl Lumley. Um, so then in the Batman animated series, he is voiced by Dorian Harewood. Um, Dorian Harewood was also known for portraying Reverend Camden's best friend, another Reverend. Don't remember the character's name on Seventh Heaven, but in the Batman, he uses the guise of Detective John Jones, alluding back to his comic origins, having become a police detective with the Littleton, Colorado Police Department. Kind of wonder how that would all be going now with what's going on in the world today. And then he also appears in the Young Justice TV series where he's voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson. Everybody should probably know Kevin Michael Richardson. He's pretty much of a mainstay throughout current cartoons. Among his many, aside from of course Martian Manhunter in Young Justice, he's also was, I believe, Mammoth in Teen Titans, and um, few voices that he's done in recent years, and a lot of you probably have heard him and would know his voice. But it's Kevin Michael Richardson would provide the voice of Martian Manhunter in Young Justice. In the Young Justice um, TV series, he is the uncle of Miss Martian as part of the show's backstory. And then in Batman the Brave and the Bold, he is voiced by Nicholas Guest. He, of course, has made the appearances in Batman the Brave and the Bold that he's been a part of include Darkseid Descending, where he is a member of Justice League International, Shadow of the Bat, Night of the Batman, and Time Out for Vengeance, Powerless, and Crisis 22,300 miles above the Earth. This interpretation of the character has a tendency to ramble on about various subjects and a notable fondness for cookies. Again, alluding back to his comic origins, with him having a thing, and of course, going back to the Justice League cartoon for a moment, in the standalone episode of the first season, Comfort and Joy, basically the Justice League Christmas special, John Jones gets invited to stay with Superman and the Kents, and he gets a chance to explore Smallville, um, which was that was a cute episode. That was just kind of a nice episode. I highly recommend you guys watch it if you ever get a chance. Comfort and Joy from Justice League. Um, but with that, that's all that I'll cover here on the voices of the Martian Manhunter, John Jones. So with that, set myself up for a few minutes from now. And anyways, so with that all being said, let's get to the next segment of the video here, which is this day in each history. Today being July the 14th, 2020. Let's look back on this day in history. There were some interesting things I found as I was scrolling through and looking through. Couple of things, not too many. So, first off, on this day 70 years ago, in 1950, the fifth issue of Boy Meets Girl by publisher Lev Gleason went on newsstands on this date in 1950. Now, of course, I've mentioned this before. Back in the 50s and 60s, aside from, of course, superhero comics, another type of comic that was pretty popular. This is probably more popular among girls. Were kind of these slice of life romance type comics, love story type comics, whatever you want to call them. In this particular case, Lev Gleason published a comic that ran for 57 issues called Boy Meets Girl. From what I understand, I think, let's see, what were the years from 1950 to 1956? It looks like it was for a while there bi-monthly comic. But on this date in 1950, Lev Gleason set out on the newsstands the fifth issue of Boy Meets Girl. So, with that being, and also on this day, I would also like to wish a happy birthday to manga artist Kota Hirano. Kota Hirano, of course, is a Japanese manga artist born in Adachi, Tokyo, Japan. Most famous for his manga Hellsing. So, happy 47th birthday to Hellsing manga artist Kota Hirano. And with all that being said now, if you guys would like to contact me directly, you can direct message me on my Discord. My Discord link is in the links below. You can check out the Discord and join if you'd like. Um, also, I'm still promoting a bunch of different dub companies. There's a lot of work out there you guys can check out if you'd like to watch stuff. Go out and check out a lot of the other works out there. Funimation is not the only game in town. Other VAs done a lot of great work too. Even and right now with us being kind of locked down because of the pandemic, it's a good time to try to get caught up on some classic animes as well as some of the more current ones. Also, I'm still promoting Vic's GoFundMe as well as the Indiegogo project of that Umbrella guy and his daughter, Little Umbrella Girl. As always, guys, never feel like you have to donate. If you have the means to and it's on your heart to do so, please consider donating. If you have not, if you have donated, if you've donated before, please consider donating again. Please consider donating if you have the means to and if you it's on your heart to do so. If you've donated before, please consider donating again. And if you cannot donate, you can still help out the cause by sharing the links. After all, sharing is caring. You never know. Maybe somebody in your circle of friends may want to help out. Doesn't hurt to ask, after all. And if you like this content, I please ask that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I always look forward to the conversation with you guys as long as it's civil and respectful. I usually will get back to you. And also, don't forget that this Friday, of course, is the next VA profile premiere in which I will be featuring Canadian-born, LA-based voice actor Doug Jones. probably most notable from his work on Mask, most notably his Matt Tracker, as well as, of course, being Fugaku Uchiha in the Naruto franchise. And also, don't I just scheduled this last night. My next live stream, of course, will be my next trial live stream will be this Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific. I'll be going over the Comics Code Authority, giving a little bit of a history lesson on that, and just showing how history seems to repeat itself as we're going through a lot of the stuff with cancel culture and all that right now, and seeing other times of censorship. So, with that all being said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.